right. So today we'll talk about two important things. One is ESXi partition, and then we will talk about ESXi installation process.
Okay.
Okay. So partition in general, I guess you may be aware of Windows partition.
Mm-hmm.
You know Windows partition. Have you heard about it?
Yes, FAT16, NTFS, then FAT32, then NTFS.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. You're right. So likewise, it also has its own partition,
Mm-hmm.
and so we're going to just briefly see what are the partition and what is the use of the partition.
Okay.
I'll just draw the diagram and show you what's the use of each and every single partition. So ESXi has 7 partition. Okay.
Okay.
It starts with alt. Okay, not the alt. It starts with primary boot partition. Okay.
Okay.
And it has alternate boot partition.
Okay.
Okay. And then it has something called VMK diagnostics.
Okay.
Okay, I'll tell you what and all what. And another one is called Scratch. Scratch, SCRATH, Scratch.
Okay.
And then we have other 3 partition. This is called core dump partition. And there is something called system 32, like how we have system 32. There is one called C32. That's for the bootloader.
Okay.
It's generally called as bootloader.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and one is called product locker. Okay. So the names may be like little new for you, but that's totally fine. You don't have to get to know in detail about it. Okay. So this is from the technical support point of view that you need to be aware. But I want to let you know this because this is an added advantage if you know this. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll explain what is each and every role and why do we have 7 partitions.
So
Okay.
when you install a single OS, it will have these 7 partitions.
Yes. 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 The moment you install ESXi, you will have all the 7 partitions. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So the first and the primary partition that's created is the bootloader. Actually, this should come here. Bootloader. This will be the primary partition. Okay. This is
Okay.
the moment you install ESXi, bootloader is the one, because when you power on or power off, everything will be from the bootloader file.
Okay.
So the primary thing is bootloader. Next is called as a primary boot. Okay, now let's take, you're running an ESXi called ESXi 6.5. Okay.
Okay.
And what you did after 1 year, you have upgraded the ESXi to ESXi 5 update 2. So you migrated or you upgraded from update 1 to update 2.
Okay.
What happens during the upgrade process, your 6.5, which is your primary partition, will be then moved to the alternate boot partition, and this will be 6.5 update 2, and this will be 6.5 update 1. Now, why do we have this feature is in case if you have a issue in OS corruption or anything happened in future, you can do something called rollback.
Same what we have in cyber, primary bias and secondary bias.
Yes, absolutely. And what we have, even in Windows, there is something called this thing called last known configuration.
Last known configuration, correct.
Yeah, similar to that, but there it's a different way. Here it's a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how it is. And there is, so the first three partition, are you clear?
Yeah. Correct.
Okay. Okay, that's perfect. So next one is called
The past one is called boot
boot
loader, right? Or
loader. Yeah.
it has both the names, bootloader or C32 partition, right?
Okay, let's remove the C32. It is only bootloader.
Okay, it's only bootloader.
Only bootloader. Yeah.
Fine, fine.
Yeah.
It is similar as C32, Windows C32 partition.
Yes.
That's what you
Yes.
mean.
Yes.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
fine. Okay. So bootloader is the first, primary boot is the second, alternate boot is the third.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Hmm. Yeah.
All right. Now, the next is called VMK Diagnostics. Okay. So this is introduced after 6.5 version. Before that, they did not have this version of partition. This partition was recently introduced. What
Okay.
is the use of this partition is, uh, you know that usually if there is logs, right? You have to configure logs on all the ESXi hosts. You install the ESXi. So by default, it will be stored in a normal location. Okay.
Okay.
In case if you want to move all the logs to another location, you need a partition for that. And that's why we have this three partition. All three, VMK Diagnostics, Scratch, Core Dump, all three are used for logs purpose.
Okay.
Okay. So this alone will have almost like 4 GB location, 4 GB allocation for only logs.
Okay.
Okay. And so core dump is called for the crash. This is also called as crash partition. Like if the host is going into PSOD, which is like BSOD in Windows.
Purple screen of death.
Yeah, you might have been familiar with this term already.
Yes, yes. We used to get PSOD errors for the servers.
Yeah.
Hmm, hmm.
Yeah, so that's the thing. In case if the host crashes, right, we need some analysis, right? In Windows, there is something called memory dump will be created by the Windows OS.
See Windows mini dump.
Yes, yes, yes. So same thing here, something called kernel dump will be created. Kernel dump needs some space, right? Like where it can store. It will be around like 1 GB, 1 to 2 GB. And to store that, we need a partition. That is why we have core dump partition. This is the normal regular logs. Your ESXi needs to have some space for the regular logs.
Okay.
Yeah, who's logging in, who's logging out, what is happening in kernel.
So VMK diag and Scratch is for the regular log, and core dump partition is for PSOD only.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And we have a bootloader, we talked about it. And there is something called product locker. This is something really important in ESXi. This is for the virtual machines. There is something called VM tools. For now, I will park this topic, and when it comes to virtual machine, I will discuss in detail about it. For now, I want you to understand product locker is a set of drivers. Okay.
Okay.
If you want to know in more in detail, I will give you an example. So now you installed a ESXi. Okay.
Okay.
And then you are installing on top of that, you create a virtual machine. Okay.
Okay.
Now then you it's up to the user's choice. He can either put a Windows machine, or he can put a Linux machine, he can put a Redux machine, Oracle, whatever he wants. It's up to the end user's configuration.
Correct.
So for that, I need some set of drivers, right? So for that, like you need for Windows, there is a different set of drivers.
The
For
generic drivers you are talking about?
general drivers like mouse driver.
Correct, correct. The generic drivers, yes.
Generic.
For which you do not install anything, which will be by default
Yeah.
within the OS. When you connect the hardware, it will automatically detect the driver, and through the device manager, it will work.
Yeah, exactly. So the same thing is here for that. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Now,
So this production, it's called prod locker or production locker?
no, it's product locker.
Product locker. Okay.
Yes,
So product
product.
locker will contain the drivers of the instances of the OS.
You're right.
Okay. So irrespective of the flavor of OS, it will contact the content. It will hold or contain the basic drivers, right?
So yeah, so I will tell you the size also. It's exactly around 256 MB. Very small. What it will do, this will have some set of drivers. When you install the ESXi, this will also create a partition with this. Now, if you create a virtual machine on the window on the ESXi, this product locker file will be pushed to that VM. So if you are installing, you will get an option. Should I choose? Do I need Linux OS or do I need a Windows OS? Do I need a Red Hat or CentOS? The user will be prompted with which version of which type of OS are you going to put on the virtual machine. Based on that, you will be getting the drivers from the product locker based on the OS version you are choosing. Let me give you an example. This is one of the ESXi, pre-installed ESXi.
Okay.
So I'm going into my, so this is an installed virtual machine. Now I'm going to create a new virtual machine. So I just click next. I just put test. So if you see here, there is something called guest OS family. I'm getting Linux, Mac, others, and Windows. Let's say I'm using Linux. And Linux, I'm going to go with SUSE Linux. Now, if I click next, and if this is a place I'm going to put the data store and all, I'll talk about this data later. Now, I want to show you this because this list of OSs that I'm getting, I have all the pre-installed drivers in my ESXi. Based on that, I will get drivers from my product locker. If I choose Linux, I will get Linux. If I choose Windows and say I want Windows 2000 Server 16, I now get Windows related drivers from my product locker.
So this page, okay, can you?
Okay, this is clear.
See, by the way, we are doing the recording today, right?
Yes, I am. Yeah, recorded.
So, can you show me the screen where I missed reading the lines?
Oh, it's okay.
The following. So I select this Windows.
Yeah.
And when I click on next, what happens?
I get which type of Windows version. Like there are a number of Windows.
Any one. Okay, fine.
Okay, I'll choose next.
And then click on next.
Next. Yeah.
And the following data stores are accessible.
No, this I don't want to show you.
Oh, this is not the one. Okay.
Not required. I just want to show this place, this page.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So partition is clear. Huh?
And VM tools is, you said?
We will talk about that.
We'll cover it later, right? You said you'll park it and talk about it.
Yes.
This is also inside the product locker.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, let me tell that also. I mean, I'll give you overview. So to the outside world, it is called VM tools. For everybody in the outside market, they call it VM tools, but it's actually product locker technically.
Okay.
Nobody, if you go and ask a level 2 engineer in any company also, they will not know this. So it's generally called as VM tools, but it's actually a driver that is coming from product locker. Okay. Yeah. So that's the thing. So partition is, I'll just give you one more summary.
So what is the use of this VM tool?
Yeah. Okay. That's why I didn't want to touch it. So.
Oh, you want to touch it? Fine. No worries. We can touch it later. I'm just in the flow of communication. That's
sure,
okay. Sure. Completely okay.
Okay. I'll talk about VM tools down the line because it's an important module. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. for now, your understanding should be for product locker. If somebody asks you or what is a partition, you should get an understanding what is inside the product locker, right?
Okay, it contains the generic drivers for
Drivers.
all the operating system.
Yes. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. So, summarize everything. I'll just give you an overview. So we'll start with bootloader. That's where all the boot files are. And primary boot partition is where the primary partition. Let's say if it's a 6.5 update 1, and then I've upgraded to 6.5 update 2. Update 2 will go into my primary. Update 1 will be pushed to alternate boot band. Okay. Then I can roll back. So I can roll back in future if I want. While ESXi is booting, if I plus shift plus R, I will get the rollback option. And that's when I can go to my alternate boot partition. Now the next is the 3 log files. These are important, which is VMK diagnostic, scratch partition, and code dump partition. VMK diagnostic and scratch is for my logs, for my regular logs, and my code dump is specifically for PSOD. And the product locker, I use it for all the drivers. Okay. Perfect. Now I'm going to take you through the ESXi installation process. Okay. So for that, I've actually this is my server where I'm running it. So this environment, what I am showing you, right? This one. This is actually a physical server, like a bare metal. Actually, it's a Dell bare metal.
Okay.
And what I did, I put ESXi 6.5 on it.
Okay.
Put 6.5. Now I have created VMs on it. And inside the VM also, I put ESXi.
Okay.
So it's a OS file, right? I can install anywhere.
Correct. Yes.
So why? Because I've installed like that is, I don't have multiple, in VMware, they won't give physical servers for everybody, because if everyone asks one physical server, like there are 200 people in team. So,
I understood.
yeah.
Then one has to stop the business and keep only VMware machines to their employees.
Yeah. And then they have to do maintenance and all. So they gave all like one person, maximum one only, and that also for 14 days.
Okay.
So it will be like, it will automatically expire after 14 days. I just renewed it.
Okay. How long you were with VMware, by the way?
I am with VMware for 2 years.
2 years. Okay.
Yeah.
So you started on this technology 2 years back or much before that?
I started in 2016.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fast, pace it took.
I started long back in 5.0. So now it is 6.5.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why I was able to understand the product in detail, because when I was there itself, I know little. Now when I came here, I understood in detail, because the training what they gave here is massive training. Yeah. Don't worry, I'm sharing everything. Don't worry.
I trust you. Don't worry as well.
Okay. Now, why I want to show you this diagram is, this environment is actually a nested. This is called nested environment, like ESXi inside ESXi.
Okay.
Nested. So if you wonder what is this, it's a VM inside the ESXi. So, since I don't have a physical machine to show you how to install ESXi, I am going to create a VM, and that is called as ESXi.
Got it. So inside the ESXi, you are again making it as a guest, just virtually, and again installing one more ESXi as a VM.
Yes.
In real world, can we do like this as well?
That's a very good question. You can see what it is telling here. You can do, but we won't support. Yeah, you can do, but if your environment is very small, if you want to do, like you have only like one physical server and you want a lot of VMs to be running, you can create, but the thing is, it's not a supported architecture.
Okay.
Yeah, it's telling VMware does not support running
nested.
in production.
It's called nested.
Yeah.
ESXi.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay, now, okay. So this data store part, I will leave it. I am not going to touch it for now.
Hmm.
I will come back to that.
Okay.
So general, if a customer asking any general recommendation, you should have at least 4 CPU, and you should have at least 8 GB RAM
Okay.
for physical servers. I will send the basic requirements.
Okay.
So this and all, it may not get it for you, but don't worry. I'm just creating like a physical machine. This is like I'm procuring a server now.
Correct. Is it as if like it's the bare metal hardware and you're creating
Yeah,
VMware,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
installing the ESXi on it?
Yes, sir. Yes. Okay, this option is really important. You see something called expose hardware assisted virtualization to guest OS.
Okay.
This, can you relate it to HP? In HP is also it's there on hardware level. There is something called VT, virtualization technology.
Correct.
Yeah, you have to
You do
enable
not
in
have
BIOS.
it enabled in BIOS. You cannot even install, or if you install, it will not work properly. When you are doing a type 2 uh, hardware virtualization, then it will not work until and unless we.
Exactly, sir. So now I'm not enabling it. Okay, so if I try to install ESXi,
Hmm.
it will literally show me that you haven't enabled this particular software.
Okay.
Let me. Okay, I have already downloaded the ISO file. I'm going to attach the ISO file.
But to get this enabled, even the hardware should physically support also, right? It should have
Yes,
this. Hmm.
yes. So 6.5 ISO is here. I'm selecting it,
Hmm.
and then I save it. In general, what we do, we put a ISO file from CD, or
Hmm.
do it. Few customers will have it in USB.
Hmm.
So this is how booting will start.
Okay.
You can see the version on top, 6.5.
Hmm. And the kernel release as well.
Yeah, and you can see memory, 8 GB memory, 4 GB IBU.
So the person who is working on the VMware end, is it mandatory for him to know the hardware specification of the server or not required really?
Sorry, can you come again?
A person who is working on the installation of VMware,
Yeah.
maybe it's a separate team. I don't know. I'm just guessing it's a separate team who is doing
Mm.
the admin fellow.
Mm.
It's important for him to know the physical specification of the server
Yes.
as well.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So we remember, if you remember, we talked about compatibility list.
Yes, VMware compatibility guide.
Yeah, compatibility guide. So what you are telling now, that team is called build team in outside.
Okay,
So there are two times in all the service-based company. One is called build, one is called operations.
true.
The work of build team is only to procure and provision and install all the environment and then test it, do a benchmark, and then they will give it to the production team or the operation.
Okay,
So there is something called, if you want to go in detail, there is something called CTB and RTB. In
okay,
term, it's called run the business and change the business.
okay.
This in terms of ITIL, infrastructure library.
Mm-hmm.
ITIL term, this is called build team,
Hmm.
and this is called operations or production team. Ops, they call ops.
Hmm.
So build team is the one who do all the procuring the hardware, talking to the hardware vendors, building it to the data center, connecting people, putting the OS, say testing, everything they will do.
Hmm.
And then they will also create SOP for that.
Hmm.
And they will then give it to the RTB. RTB will then take care of it. They have to then, from then they have to maintain it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
To the installation. So this is how you will get in the fresh hardware also. The moment you install it, you will get an option. ESXi install on most systems by only guides are supported. So check the compatibility. Okay.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I'm verifying, I'm agreeing to that, and I'm clicking enter. This is a end user license.
Mhm.
I click F11 and it will then search for available hard disk.
Okay.
So this is like the 40 GB I created now.
Mhm.
Now I'll have to, if in case you see there is something called local and remote,
Local and remote. Yes.
let me maximize. Is it visible now?
Yeah, much clear. Yes.
Okay. Now if you see there is something called local and remote. Okay. Any idea, any guess what is this?
Local is probably the physical hard drive connected to the server, and remote could be through the SAN. It is accessing some other storage device.
Absolutely, Shubham. You're the one who answered in the recent days this one. You're a very genius guy. Nice.
Thank you.
So now that's the thing. I don't want to get in detail. That's the one. You got it. Let me, want me to elaborate? There are a lot of things in local. USB. First,
Mhm.
most of the customers will run in USB. Why? Because if there is a any issue with the local hard drive, like RAID 0, RAID 1, if the RAID fails also, the ESXi should run. Right?
Mm, okay.
In that case, people will go for USB installation. Okay?
Okay. Now I'm just trying to
Hmm.
understand it.
Hmm.
I understand your point, what you said very clearly.
Hmm.
But when I'm creating a RAID,
Hmm.
it's a hardware RAID,
Hmm.
which is on the physical drive. You are
Hmm.
saying the physical hardware RAID fails.
Hmm.
Two drive goes bad, and
Hmm.
I have a RAID one where I have two drives or three drives, and
Hmm.
the RAID one goes bad.
Hmm.
The RAID one goes bad, or I have a parallel failure of two drives, then the RAID one goes bad.
Hmm.
In that case, the OS also get corrupt because the RAID.
Hmm.
Oh, awesome.
Correct.
I now came to. I just want to add this. We have certain servers from Gen 8,
Hmm.
okay,
Hmm. Hmm.
where you open it's a DLML server,
Hmm. Hmm.
that rack mount server, where
Yeah.
you open it and you put a pen drive. So
Hmm.
we have something, I'm not, maybe you have come across
Hmm.
we have something for the Gen 8 servers or the Gen 9 servers and the Gen 10 servers, I believe, is the AHS log, active
Hmm.
system log.
Yeah. Yeah. AHS log. I know. Yeah.
AHS log, okay.
Yeah.
I was pretty okay in actually AHS log. So in the
Hmm.
AHS log, if you go to there is something called ILO event log.
Hmm.
You'll see there is a tab for this saying that the VMware is installed on the pen drive or the USB drive, what we call.
Okay.
So
Oh.
I never had a clue why they are going to do it, why they used to do this. So now I got this answer. Okay, this is the logic.
Awesome. 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 Yeah. Okay. Now I'm just clicking enter. Now it's asking what language. I will say US.
Mhm.
Now this is important. So
Hmm.
there is something called root account for VMware. That is the uh, admin account like you have for ILO and all, you remember?
Hmm.
There will be one default account. That default account is called root ROOT. Password
Hmm.
you can set up. There is no uppercase, lowercase, strength and all. Whatever it is, you can set up. Click enter.
Okay.
Okay. This is a beautiful warning. Can you understand anything?
That option you didn't select.
Exactly.
Hmm.
So this an error message will come even in the hardware if they have not enabled the BIOS CPU.
Hmm.
So then what I do, I will go ahead and power off the installation. I will go to, let's say this is the BIOS.
Hmm.
I will just go to CPU BIOS, enable hardware virtualization,
Hmm.
save it, and then power
So if I have this enabled in the BIOS,
Hmm.
but while installing the OS,
Hmm.
I didn't tick mark this, still this error comes.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So probably this is a lock which helps to understand that it is enabled in BIOS, something like that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay.
What kind of laptop do you have? Is it Office or your own laptop?
Is it? It is an office laptop.
Okay, okay,
I have Intel i7 processor.
okay.
It has VT enabled, so I can install. I already have this VMware workstation installed.
Okay, okay.
So, and I have a CentOS installed in that.
Oh, okay, okay.
One of the VMs have the CentOS installed. Actually, our product line,
Hmm.
specifically, there is one product line called 3Power.
Yeah, yeah.
It has a very clear requirement of no Linux.
Mm-hmm.
So recently we end up having Linux training.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I installed the CentOS.
Oh, okay.
Something happened. I minimized the screen. Why it is not coming?
It's not coming?
Yeah, it's coming in the sense I'm not getting this option.
No?
1 minute,
Okay.
because this is the clock I was reading. Yeah, I think there is some issue in getting the screen.
Uh, can I stop and share?
But ideally it should not happen, right? I got it now.
Oh, I stopped it. Now we should see.
Yeah, I can see now.
Okay.
Hmm.
So I'm just going through the installation.
Installation once again.
Local disk, English, password.
So the highest priority is the root password,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then it should be the administrator password or something like that.
No, no, only that.
Only that. Okay.
Okay, now we can see installation is ready. I'm going to click F7. Okay, that's the installation of ESXi. Pretty straightforward, very easy.
Mm-hmm.
But worst thing is you have to confirm the hardware compatibility and all this feature, because installation will happen later on when you configure something or when you perform any features of VMware. That time it says that the compatibility is not there, then you're done. Like, why didn't you check before installing? So the question will come there. So primary thing before you touch installation, you have to get what are the customer requirements and then check the compatibility list and then start installation.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I actually came across instances maybe years back,
Oh,
but I came across instances like that where you have a account support manager, right, who will
yeah,
take care of everything for the particular vendor.
yeah, yeah.
So ASM actually asked customer to buy a hardware,
Hmm.
they installed it, and they bought it, and after 4 5 months when they started everything, then they find it.
Oh,
That's what when I first came to know about that. You have to check certain compatibility even at the OS end.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm not aware of this VMware
Hmm.
installation uh,
Hmm.
compatibility guide.
Hmm, hmm, hmm. So this process will take at least 10 to 15 minutes.
No worries. No worries. If you have something else you can work on, if you,
No problem. Yeah.
yeah, no worries.
Installation is like a long process. This is when it will create all the partition, everything will happen.
Okay. So when an engineer, like when a technical person join VMware,
Yeah.
they can be part of this CTV or RTB team, right? Depending on.
No. That is totally for service based, not for support.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you joined as a how you joined as an engineer, like
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, now it's completed. You can see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's asking me to remove the installation thing what you have connected.
Correct. Or it again it will pick up the same path. That's
Yeah,
why.
yeah, it will go to the loop.
Hmm.
So I'll disconnect the ISO. Now I'm going to reboot it. It's rebooting.
Okay.
So that's the installation. It's pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
So no complication, anything. While installation, as I told you, you just have to be very sure when you are checking the compatibility and other things.
Mm-hmm.
So let me now show you once installation is done, what you will do in general, like in any environment, Windows or HP or anything. Once installation is done, you have to do a initial setup.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
Yes.
What do you think is initial setup?
Mm, what we call the out of box setup, like you have to get the network set,
Yes,
to give the basic things,
exactly.
mainly the network part and the HBA part.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. So that's,
Have HBA, FCHBA, like
yeah,
planning to get a
yeah,
sensing and all.
yes. So in general, there are a few things. I'll list out the things in general. Okay. So after installation process, there is something called initial setup. First is name for the host.
Hmm.
Then is time,
Hmm.
which time zone you're going to put the ESXi host.
Hmm.
Then is DNS.
Hmm.
Then is DHCP you have to set up.
Okay.
Then you have to set up IP address of the ESXi host.
Okay.
Okay, these are the main things. These 5 things are the main things that you need to check.
Okay.
Okay,
Time
name.
zone.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Please go ahead. I
Go ahead,
interrupt.
go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Time zone when you say it, this is just I'm curious to know. Time zone when you say it, suppose uh, the hardware is physically located in India,
Yeah.
but getting accessed by the customer from US.
Hmm.
So you set the time zone to the US time zone.
Hmm.
Now there is a PSOD error and the log is captured.
Hmm.
I mean to say PSOD error and the dump under the core, like no dump is core dump. Sorry, I forgot the term. Where the dump is captured, there the dump is captured under the core dump folder.
Hmm. Okay.
So that log, will it show the US time or some different time?
Okay, that's a good question. By default, all the logs are in UTC time frame.
Okay.
Whatever logs, all time frame, whatever you set it, default logs will come only in UTC.
Okay.
Okay.
So according to a region, you just convert it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Correct.
And it is mandatory for DHCP, or you can set a physical. Like I have a very small infrastructure instead of
Small, you don't have to worry, but this I'm talking.
generally for big one we use DHCP.
Yeah,
But we do have an option to give a fixed IP address, right?
yeah.
Oh.
Okay, now once this is done, this is the home page. Okay, this is how the home page looks like. You
Mm-hmm.
press F2. You have to press F2, and that will give you the login credentials.
Okay. Yeah.
We have the root credentials, and again, if you click on F2, you will be taken. This is the important page. This is a system page. This is the only place you can configure the initial setup. Okay.
Okay.
You can take a general look. Don't get in detail.
Mm-hmm.
Just see a general look. If you want to set up password, that is the first option. There is something called lockdown mode. Lockdown mode is a feature of ESXi. It's for security.
Okay.
Say for example, you don't want anybody to access your ESXi without your permission.
Okay.
Like directly logging into directly. This is called DCUI. So this yellow page, what you see, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is called DCUI. That's called Direct Console User.
Okay.
And if you have enabled this
Host.
lockdown mode, only you can log in from the direct console from the DCUI.
Okay.
You can't put the IP address like this and then you can't enter. It will say lockdown mode is enabled, you cannot access. So please go through the DCUI access. So
Okay.
come here and then I have to enable
So
that.
no chance of having a remote access, even if
Yeah,
you're sitting next to the server.
yeah, correct. So only
Okay.
if you have turned off the lockdown mode, you will have that feature. Okay.
Okay.
Then is network setup, IPv4, host name. This
Mm.
you can give here. And then refresh. If you want to refresh the network, restart management network.
Okay.
If you want to test if the connection is okay, I
Hmm.
next, and then I will get a response. Okay. If the gateway is not configured, I will get failed message.
Okay.
And restore, I will skip it. It's not required.
Okay. So this test management or restart management or configure management network is the physical configuration
Yes.
of the network card
Yeah.
with switch or whatever it is, like
Yes. Yes.
gateway server
Yes.
or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I enter into that, I will see network adapters, VLAN, IPv4, DNS, all these
Hmm.
things.
Hmm.
Okay. Then I will get configure keyboard, what type of keyboard you want.
Hmm.
And troubleshooting option is for logs.
Okay.
Like logs is here. This is actually for shell. So as I told you, like you have timeout options, SSH for if you want, you can't all the time come to DCUI because it's a security feature because you can't give your root password to everybody.
Correct.
So that time you can enable shell and then you can create a test or admin account, like a user account to read the logs and all. Then you have to enable shell for that. So those are the things we'll do down the line. We'll talk about that in detail. For that,
Okay.
see that you have these options and all.
Okay. Okay.
Support information, what is the license and all.
Hmm.
Logs, all the logs. So
So
the
if you enable the shell,
Hmm.
if you okay, if you have the configurable lockdown mode on,
Hmm.
your host UI concept do not work.
Yes.
And if you have lockdown mode on, even if you enable the shell SSH,
Hmm.
still the access doesn't work.
Yes. Yes.
But if you have this lockdown mode disabled,
Hmm.
then you have the option to access through
Shell.
shell.
Yeah.
Okay. So shell is basically what I understand. I do not have much idea of Linux, but shell is, I understand it's a CLI interface.
Yeah. That's simple. Very simple. CLI is like command prompt we have in Windows.
Mm-hmm.
You have shell in Linux. Very simple.
Correct. Hmm. Okay. Fine.
Okay.
Hmm.
So these options don't get in detail for now. Just see what are the options.
Okay.
Okay.
Pretty just out of the discussion question, I'm
Yeah.
interested to know like how much of Linux knowledge is required, like in-depth knowledge is required for VMware.
Not in depth actually. For administrators, Linux knowledge is not at all required. I was admin for
Hmm.
3 years without any Linux knowledge.
Okay.
But I know commands. I know ESXCLI commands. ESX
Hmm.
commands that are command basic commands. You will get
Okay.
on Google.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So 0% knowledge for Linux admin, VMware admins.
Hmm.
For support perspective, you need at least 30% of Linux because they take a separate class for Linux here.
Okay. So if you know Linux, that's a kind of added advantage.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay.
I learned after coming here Linux.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. So this is the installation process, and this is how you also access the DCUI F2 to log in.
Mhm.
To reboot the ESXi, you have to push F12. F12 will get
Okay.
option to reboot. Do you want to reboot? It will ask again password. I say,
Okay.
do you want to forcefully reboot or do you want to do a normal reboot? It
Hmm.
will ask. Okay.
Okay.
So these are all few of the options that you need to know. So this
Mhm.
is called DCUI.
Hmm. Okay.
So the summary installation process, I don't know what to summarize, but you saw the thing, right? Which
Yes, yes. I got it. I
yeah.
got it.
So I will go ahead and send email with this information, and we have recorded. So
Hmm.
you can go through the recording, or you want, if you're curious,
Hmm.
download the ISO. It's available free in the internet.
Okay.
Put it, and then you put it in your desktop and check once all the options and all.
Yeah, I will do that. I
Yeah.
will do that. Yeah. Hmm. Fine.
Okay.
Ah, fine.
All right. So we'll wind
Okay.
up here. I will catch up tomorrow with the next set of information. Okay.
Okay. Pretty probably Saturday and Sunday,
Mm.
I would excuse myself from the classes.
No problem. No problem.
Okay. Because Saturday we have a class in the evening which I
Oh,
take the kids.
okay. Okay. Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
And
I also
Sunday,
want to come one day to meet your.
please come, please come. I would prefer you to be there on Monday.